Dude, the last video, it looked like we were like this.
No, it did not look like that.
Maybe like this. But I wasn't doing anything. Hello everybody, welcome back to Third Act. Oh my goodness. Our season is finally starting. This season's gonna be a little bit different. There are no shows to review. So you might think, what the heck are y'all gonna do? We talked about it with our team and we all decided that it would be best for us to drop a little segment instead of the Third Act reviews called
The Next 10 Minutes.
So for the next 10 minutes, we will be talking to you guys about topics that you guys have asked us about. So this week, we're going to be talking about ensemble work for musicals. So I'm excited.
I think this is something we talk about a lot in our videos, but this is probably one of the most asked topics that we get asked about. All right, so let's get right into it. Okay, so I know that this first key point, I guess, is probably the one we talk about the most. It's the importance of an ensemble, and I think it's important to start with that because without an ensemble, you have no show.
Definitely.
And I think you can all agree, those of you watching.
Unless it's a show like the last 5 years. Unless it's a show that doesn't require the ensemble to be like a storytelling, element of a show.
Yeah, like shows with smaller casts, like Evil Dead, the last 5 years, like shows like that.
Yeah.
Any show that has, even if an ensemble is like 5 people, like it really does matter. Because,
definitely.
Like they're part of the universe that the show is creating. So without them, it's kind of like boring. I mean, I don't want to go like harsh, but like it is. I mean, you really don't have anything else to look at when you're not looking at the leads.
You want to see something different. You want to be wowed. You want to, and I feel like ensemble does that. And it depends on what type of musical it is. So like, for example, A Hunchback. It required a lot of interaction, like a town, like Beauty and the Beast, things like that. It requires a lot of energy and it requires a lot of interaction between the cast members and ensemble members. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And it takes a lot of discipline to get to a point where it looks so flawless or it looks so seamless and it's natural.
And I think, piggybacking off of that, I would say the ensemble really does add to the authenticity of the universe that you're creating because, like, let's say, for example, you're doing a scene that's supposed to be taking place at night in New York City on a sidewalk. Mm-hmm. It's not just going to be the 2 main characters or 3 main characters standing there. There's going to be people crossing the street, walking past them. In a real world that would happen.
It makes it real.
Yeah,
it makes it real.
And I think it kind of adds to that whole effect of like losing yourself in it because you forget that you're watching something. Like you forget that it's like scripted and like it's very it adds layers to the show. Mm-hmm. Definitely 100%.
Like onions have layers.
One of the biggest things I talk about when we talk about musicals is vocals because that is like my bread and butter and that's my favorite part of a musical. I think it's very, very, very important for an ensemble to have balance vocally. Balance in general, but I want to focus more so on vocals. Being that sometimes an ensemble is 5 people, sometimes it's 50, you really do have to act as a unit vocally. There's really no room for you to kind of veer off. Sometimes there is. Sometimes it does call for like little solo moments that can kind of add to it, but very, very rarely. And I think volume-wise, especially when it comes to vocals, if someone is overpowering, it's gonna sound so off, and it is kind of gonna throw some people. I know for me personally, it throws me off a little bit. Because then I'm focusing on like, damn, who is that?
Sometimes you do hear it in shows, and I don't know. It's something that every director and every vocal director, and even like the student, should be very aware about. People do catch the little things like that.
I think it's important to talk about the fact that like you balancing isn't like diminishing your talent. I think when you're able to balance, it enhances it.
Yes.
And honestly, like even in Broadway, like that is such an important thing to be able to do.
Dude, yeah.
Because you cannot overpower people. Like when you're working as an ensemble, it has to be here.
Dude,
like
yeah.
And I think we'll segue into energy. I think it's the same thing with that. I think if someone's energy is not there, you're gonna be able to kind of point them out, because if everybody's up here, but then there's this one person on the side that's kind of like, oh, I'm just here for, whatever.
Yeah, dude. No.
You're gonna notice them.
There's been a few shows that I do go see, and even shows that I was in when I was in high school, that I could tell that people just didn't enjoy being in them. And it sucks because like everybody everybody all together is putting so much effort into it, and it takes one person to take an audience member completely out. That's crazy to me, but I mean it is what it is, and you do have to keep reminding yourself of who you are in the show. It's not just Javier, it's not Daniela,
Yeah, and I think I love when directors, and I'm sure most directors do this, but I know that there's a few that maybe don't. But I love when directors work with the ensemble specifically on character work, because I feel like some people forget that they're actually characters.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about actors, but audience members. I feel like people just think, oh, they're the people that are in the back. And it's like, well, yes, but like they're not just being themselves. Like they're still acting. Like it's not like Javi in the ensemble of Mamma Mia. Like it's blank as the ensemble member of Mamma Mia. Like it's still a character, and there's still development that needs to happen, because I mean you can't just stand there and be like, okay, now we're gonna sing this song. Like like they're like, you have to be in it just as much as everybody else. Yeah. Because if you're not, it does really, really take away from the entire story, in my opinion.
Personally, I enjoy so much the shows that I do ensemble work in, because I get to develop my own character. Not just that, but like, I don't know, I just find a connection with other ensemble members, and then like it becomes a thing where like every night you try to like one up each other. Like I have to talk about this, but during West Side Story, me and Brandon Binder, like we would always try to do something that was so different every show. Maybe people didn't catch it, but I mean we tried, and I know that I learned so much from adding every night to the last night.
I think it's a good example to use West Side, because I think both of it, well, I'll speak from my experience. Like for me, it was kind of like I got to do a little bit of both, be in the ensemble but also have like that standout moment. So it was really cool to kind of do a show where I did both of that, because it did teach me a lot about balance, and it also taught me that even though I may not be in the front or have my standout moment yet, people are still watching me, and I still have to hold that character in and be that character throughout. So when I do have my standout moment, it makes sense. Definitely. And it's cohesive. And I really think that's important to discuss.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that sums up our conversation with ensemble work. Later on in the season, you will see a lot more opinions, not just us. We will be having our play consultants coming in. We will be having our musical consultants coming in. And our seasonal consultant coming in, and we will be having more conversations like this, so you can hear more of what they think of as well, and what we look forward to whenever we come back from out of intermission.
All right, guys, speaking of intermission, the intermission collection is live. By the time this video goes out, we would have been live for about a week, or a week exactly. So for those of you who didn't get to watch our first video, a little bit about the intermission project. We started this as a way to raise money for different community theaters who are in need. Our first recipient is going to be the Harlingen Community Theater out of Harlingen, Texas. And all the links to the order form and the video will be in the description below. Using the order form link that will be in the description below, you can purchase either our intermission t-shirt, which maybe we'll throw a picture of here, our intermission hoodie, or you can order a bundle option where you do save $5. We are able to ship your order for $7 more. But we are planning to have pickup locations for those of you who order and are local. That way we don't have to worry about shipping or any of that. And we will make sure that we do follow all the CDC guidelines when we do these pickup locations.
We love the CDC.
And finally, You have from now until October 31st at 11:59 p.m. to order yours, and you have until then as well to submit your payment via Cashapp or Venmo, and all of that information will be in the description below.
And just to let you guys know, we are doing so freaking great. Thank you to everyone that has been sharing all the posts, all the pictures, and thank you for the people that have already ordered. All of your proceeds will be going to the Harlem Joint Community Theater, and we are so freaking excited for that.
I cannot wait to see all of you in your intermission collection. So you can share the pictures with us, and we can share them on our Instagram, our Facebook, and our Twitter. For those of you who don't follow us, all the links to our social media will be in the description as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. It may be a little more than 10 minutes because of all the extra information that we added. However, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much.
Bye.